Hello everybody, and welcome back to Monday Night Arena Fight. This is the first week I've had enough gold to run a draft, so welcome to my first Guilds of Ravnica draft. Let's get right into it. Okay, looking over the things, looks like there is a good lead-in for the red-blue deck with Goblin Electromancer, League Guildmage. I'm going to leave myself a little open though, and I'm going to take the Erratic Cyclops. And that just means I'm going to prioritize spells over creatures, I think. So this seems like a good start. Okay, and Dazzling Light's not so great. I could take this Thought Erasure, or the Beam Splitter Mage. And the Pelt Collector's nice, but I don't think I'm going to try and build a red-green deck. Yeah, I'm going to take the Beam Splitter Mage. Okay, so here we have a couple of choices. As long as you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, Piston Fist Cyclops can attack as though it didn't have Defender. I would take this, but I'm thinking the maximum velocity is, or maximized velocity is probably where I want to go for the deck. So I'm going to take that, and hope that that Piston Fist comes back. Okay, not much here. I could take either the Fearless Halberdier or the Fresh-Faced Recruit. It looks like I would have been a little better off trying to go Golgari with this pick, but I'll take the Recruit. Okay, either Radical Idea or Piston Fist Cyclops. Disdainful Stroke is also a choice, but I'm going to take Radical Idea since it represents two spells. I like Devious Cover-Up, mostly just to get the cards back from my graveyard into my deck. Sonic Assault removes a blocker, but I think I'd rather go with Devious Cover-Up. Okay, and there's another Sonic Assault. We're not really playing Surveillance too much. If I get some Surveil cards, this would be really good. Actually, I could just shuffle my graveyard into my library. I'm going to take this just in case. Alright. Another Maximized Velocity, it looks like. Alright, this is my starting pack, so I'm going to take this Locket. It's a combat trick, but this draws cards, so I'll take the Locket. Sure Strike. Nothing here, so I'll take this spell that hurt me. And then I'll just take Circuitous Root, Vicious Rumors, and a Sonic Assault. Okay. There's Hypothesizzle. You may discard a card and deals 4 damage to target creature. Murmuring Mystic is a good payoff card. Dawn of Hope. Oh no, this isn't the one I was thinking it was. It's either between Piston Fist or Murmuring Mystic at this point. I think I want to play the Piston Fist Cyclops, because with Maximized Velocity, we can just out of nowhere deal 5. Okay, another Devious Cover-Up, or either of the Goblins looks good. Could also splash black for Price of Fame. I think I'm gonna go with Devious Cover-Up. Alright, there's another good payoff card for the spell deck that I'm building, and I'll take it and run away Steamkin. Goblin Banneret, another maximized velocity. Okay, so in this case, I think I'm going to take the Sprite. Whenever it attacks, I can surveil, and that means I can throw some of my jumpstart cards into the graveyard right away. That seems to be pretty good synergy. Take the color fixing. Okay, this is really good with my first Cyclops, the Erratic Cyclops, as well as the Piston Fist, and I don't really want another Devious cover-up at the moment, so I'll take Cosmotronic Wave. Lets us push through damage. I don't remember there being that many creatures with Defender. I know there's a couple. That's a sorcery, so... Now, I think I'm going to take the Goblin Locksmith just because it does have a benefit. Okay. We'll take the Muse Drake for flying. Take Sure Strike as a combat trick. Locksmith. Another Muse Drake. Okay. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Fire Urchin gets +1/+0. I think I'm just going to take another Maximized Velocity at that point. Torch Courier. Alright, we got that third Devious cover up anyways. Final pack. What do we got? City Watch Sphinx is just a good flyer. Necrotic Wound. There's Disdainful Stroke. I think I'm just going to take the City Watch Sphinx. It's a 5/4 flyer. Okay. I guess with these choices, I could either splash white for Justice Strike or black for Creeping Chill. I'm going to take the Creeping Chill just in case I want to try and play with it. Excuse me. Ooh, another Radical Idea. So yeah, I'm going to take the Radical Idea. Maniacal Rage or Bodyguard, Barging Sergeant. The Barging Sergeant here can help just pump up. There it is. Well, he can't pump up the Piston Fist unless I maximize velocity on him, but I could just take color fixing. It's another Guildgate. I'm gonna take the Sergeant. Alright. I guess with this, Sonic Assault is the better pick. Inescapable Blaze is fine as a Lava Axe. Take a Sinister Sabotage. Okay, so this doesn't have any cards that I specifically want to play. But this is colorless removal, at the very least. 3/3 flyer is never unwelcome. Take another Sonic Assault. take a Sure Strike. I guess Maniacal Rage. Sure Strike. Devious Cover Up. And this Hammer Dropper. Okay, so I have quite a few cards that I can cut. And some of these will be pretty easy. Let's take away these Sure Strikes. I want 3 of those. I don't want 4 of these Devious Cover-Ups. Okay, so now what else do I take out here? I don't need the Fresh-Faced Recruit, and Maniacal Rage is fine, but I don't want it. I don't think I need these Goblin Locksmiths. Silent Dart. I would rather have the Maximized Velocities than the Torch Courier. I don't really need the Barging Sergeant. Alright, so 2 more. Enhanced Surveillance was not something that seems like it's going to pan out here. And I think I'll drop one of these Moostricks. Alright, and so that's our deck. A little heavy on the maximized velocities, but if I can use it to cast a Radical Idea again by discarding it, it's not unvaluable. Alright, so I'll get into game 1. Okay, this has 4 lands, something to do on 2, and possibly 3, 4. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it. It's a little bit of a slow start, but it could go somewhere at least. And since Radical Idea is an instant, I will wait to play it. Okay, so my opponent has played a Burglar Rat. I think I am just going to discard the Sure Strike. Oh, no. Resolve. Okay, now we found our 5th land. That'll be useful for the Hellkite Whelp. Go ahead and play that. So now I don't really have any cards I want to discard to Radical Idea. So we'll just leave that in my graveyard. Okay, so my opponent's going to get rid of a card. I would assume the Cyclops, yep. Okay, we'll get down a land and the Muse Drake, which will draw me another card. That makes 2 cards that my opponent doesn't know what they are. And it gives me a blocker for the Burglar Rat, unless they have a removal spell. Okay. Go ahead and play a land here. Excuse me, sorry. I am going to drop the Night Veil Sprite. Velocity on it. This will let me attack with it, and I can immediately surveil. Okay, that's a locket. We'll keep it on top. Now let me cast the City Watch Sphinx here in a turn or two. My opponent has surveilled one and kept the card. They have a Wall of Mist, which does nothing on this board state. But I will take 3 here. Okay, move to combat and attack with the Sprite. That way I know what's going into my graveyard, or not. Yeah, we'll leave that on top. And in fact... no, we'll deploy the Izzet locket. And pass turn. Okay, I see no reason to block here, so let's take another 3. Move to combat. Attack with everything. I don't particularly need a land right now, so I'll get rid of it. Then I will play City Watch. Okay, my opponent responds with a Watcher in the Mist. Okay, so I'm going to keep this land in my hand. I'm going to play this Hellkite well. I'm going to jumpstart maximize velocity and discard this island. And then move to attackers. I'll attack with my 2 creatures that can attack without trading off. And I'll kill off this burglar. That puts my opponent at a precarious 6 life, making it difficult for them to attack in with anything but the Whisper Agent. Not impossible, but difficult. Okay. Okay, so if I attack here, my opponent has to block the 5/4. Or else they lose. They could also have a spell, but I have a counter spell, so yeah. So move to combat. Actually, I'm just going to attack with that and the Hellkite Whelp. No, I have to attack with one more. Night Veil Sprite. Because then my opponent has to block the Sphinx. And I'll deal damage to that. Leave that on top for next turn. Turn. And I believe that's game unless my opponent can kill all my creatures. Okay, this has 2 lands and nothing to do with it, so we'll mulligan it away. This is better with 4 lands and at least something to do. Radical Idea can draw into something better, hopefully. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep that on top. Okay, go ahead and play that. Get our Runaway Steamkin started. And that means this Radical Idea is 2 +1/+1 counters. And even a Sure Strike now, so move to combat, attack. I will wait to see if my opponent tries to respond with anything before pumping it up. Okay, they get a 3/3 knight, or a 4/3 knight, probably. Yep. They do nothing. I will Radical Idea. Oh, that's a red spell, anyways. Okay, so, this is showing my opponent. Well, maximize velocity. And then that'll offer a trade to my opponent. Okay, so my opponent doesn't fall for it, so we'll just let that go. So, I want to play that land. And this time, I want to just pass the turn. This will let me be responsive to my opponent. I can actually kill off their 4/3 if they don't have a combat trick. Okay, now I'm just waiting for my opponent. It went off spectacularly. I was able to kill off the 4/3 with a first striking 6/3. Okay, that gets my opponent a 4/4. Okay, so I think the route here is to maximize, discarding Cosmotronic Wave. And then use that mana to cast a City Watch Sphinx. And no attacks. I could have offered the trade here, but I wouldn't have been able to play the Sphinx if my opponent took me up on it, so I thought it was better to just get the Sphinx out. Okay, they had a removal spell, so... I'm probably dead here either way. Done. At least the Piston Fist can trade with the Centaur. Okay, we'll deploy that. No attacks, because I would get no value out of it. And at least with the Cyclops, you can't color the culprit. Okay, and with that land, I am dead, so I can see. I wasn't dead on table. Alright, this is a pretty good hand. 3 lands and stuff to do with it, so we'll keep it. The Night Veil Sprite will make sure I keep drawing into gas. And the Sure Strikes will ensure that I can win combats. Okay, there's our late game win card, or removal spell if necessary. Okay, my opponent went the Electromancer route, it looks like. Okay, I need that land, so I'll leave it on top. That land represents the 5th land I need for the Whelp, and 5 to the 6th land that I need for Inescapable Blaze. We'll take 2 from the Electromancer here. Okay. Combat. Attack. Attack with the Sprite. Sinister Sabotage will work fine, so we'll keep that on top as well. Do the 1 damage. And the next turn I'll have this 3/3. Ah, my opponent has a Chemster's Insight. Would have seen that during the draft. Okay, opponent will probably attack here, so I'll take another 2. And they also took an Erratic Cyclops. I really wish the Sinister Sabotage had been in my hand there. Okay, that's the last land I need. After this, they'll all be going to my graveyard. Okay, so my opponent can only make this a 5/8 this turn. Well, potentially a 6/8. Well, no, I guess they could make it larger than that, actually. If they have the right things. Okay. And my opponent obviously has a trick here. There's no reason for them to attack with the Electromancer, but it's probably a sure strike. Yep. I'm just waiting for my opponent. Choose if they want to deal more than 2 damage to me this turn. They declined. Okay. Man, I am in a tough spot. I will pass turn. This way I can block the Electromancer more safely. And I can protect it with the Sinister Sabotage, so... And that's useful for me, because the Cyclops won't have that 4 power next turn. But less useful is the fact that they drew 2 cards. Okay, I'm going to block the Electromancer again. This time I will have to blink first, so sure strike. Okay, we're getting into a little bit of a stack war. But my opponent has me on mana, and that's game. So they drafted the better deck. Alright, well, I'm not doing so good. This seems fine, I guess. And I mulliganed it away, of course I did. This is bad. This is better, but still bad. Okay. And of course I'm going first, so this is a terrible, terrible hand. That's the other direction I could have taken in this draft. Alright, I'm not playing out the Cyclops this turn because I want to... I wanted to do it this turn, but I'm just going to do this dual land. My opponent's not putting any pressure on me, so... There's a Whisper Agent. Should have remembered that was in the draft. Play Piston Cyclops, maximize its velocity, and attack with it. Watch it eat a wall. ahead and commit to the Izzet locket and pass turn. There's no reason to attack just to kill a 1/1. And next turn I can draw 2 cards with this, so that'll be useful. No. That card can get really out of hand really fast. So, I have another Devious cover-up, which can cycle between the two. Okay, I'm going to use the locket now. Ah, there it is. Alright, so I am going to Sonic Assault. Tap this. And attack. Okay, we'll take 2 here, just from the flyers. But I'm keeping the Whisper in bay. They got rid of a Beast Whisperer. Okay, so play the locket and pass the turn. Take another 2 here. Cards. They were useless. Pass turn. I have to get up to 18 real fast. I really need the Cyclops. Now I have 1 more turn if my opponent has nothing else, so pass. Make sure to tap this. That way my opponent can have a trick and be attacking with the creature already. Okay, I'm going to draw a couple of cards and see if I can't get there. It doesn't look like I will. Ah, there's the use trick. It's probably a little bit too late. Okay. still too late, but I can at least make my opponent work for it, I guess. And they distinct full stroke, so that's game. Well, that was a little disappointing. Sorry, guys. I am not the best with the blue-red deck. But overall, I had fun. It was interesting. I don't think I'm on board for the Jumpstart deck. I probably prioritized some of the cards a little too heavily. Like, I should have probably picked up those Goblin Electromancers. But next time, whenever I get back to another draft, I'll probably shoot for something I'm comfortable with, either Dimir or Golgari, but we'll have to see where the packs land. With that, I'm sorry for the disappointing show, but sometimes you just lose out. So, thanks for watching, and you guys have a great night. Bye.